It's called the Handshake of the Century, and the man keeping that historic image alive in 3 dimensions joins us this morning to talk about it. Renowned sculptor Marc Mellon is with us. Marc, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Bobby?
It's so great to see you. So great to hear you. I mean, obviously, this has been a challenging time for everyone, but this is some real exciting news for you. 75 years ago, just before Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball, he shared a moment with a teammate in 1946 that will last forever, and your sculpture brings that moment to life. Tell us all about it.
Well, indeed it does. This was Jackie's first hit with the Montreal Royals under contract with Branch Rickey of the Dodgers. And at this point in time, we didn't know whether Jack Roosevelt Robinson was going to make it to the big leagues. And he didn't know. He knew that it was being referred to as the Great Experiment. He also knew that there were managers out there and well-known sports writers who were dissing him in the press, saying that, oh, he's a little overbuilt for, too muscle-bound for to make it in baseball, that he's maybe doesn't have the capacity, that he didn't, he'd never hit major league pitching. I mean, stuff that we look at now and we say, that's crazy. And but he also felt that he had the weight of his race on his shoulders. He had gone through a wretched trip with his wife to spring training in Florida, bumped off a plane. He was at an airport before that where he couldn't get fed the way he wanted to get fed. You got to go around to that restaurant there or to the other door. All that stuff. What we think of as Jim Crow, what we think of as ancient history. Well, this was Jackie Robinson's life, and when he hit that 3-run home run, as he said, he felt the dam burst between him and his teammates. That George Shuba watched the first 2 guys it was a 3-run homer. The first 2 guys continue on to the dugout. George Shuba, who had played integrated ball back in Youngstown, Ohio through his youth, he leapt forward, extended his hand with a big grin. Jackie met that grin, and the photographers this was national news. It wasn't just sports news. This was national news. This was a biggie. You had 25,000 people in Jersey City in an integrated stadium. There was no such thing as seats for the black ticket holders, this section, and the whites over here. So this was in many ways a breakthrough for America. Yes, I couldn't be more delighted to be working on bringing this historic moment to more eyeballs, and it will stand forever.
So that handshake obviously really signals his arrival in America's pastime. It happens in Jersey City, but your bronze statue is actually created in the city where Jackie becomes most famous, and that's Brooklyn. You are a Brooklyn native. What does it mean to have that work being done there, even though long-term it's going to be in Ohio?
Your roots are important. And I was born and bred in the big city. Most years there was not money for camp. I spent the entire summer playing ball. It was basketball, baseball, touch football, paddle ball, handball, you name it, stickball, and Jackie Robinson is a personal hero as well as a hero of the Brooklyn, and he's a national hero. So to have this project at the bronze foundry that I've been working with for over 35 years, the B.D. Mackey Art Foundry, they did the Iwo Jima monuments. They did the bull on Broad Street. I mean, they're known for for major public artworks that are the best of the best, that speak to a variety of values that we can all embrace. And what's another level of magic for this project is that as sculptures around the country are coming down because they were put up for all the wrong reasons. Some of those were funded 100 years ago by the KKK, and just to put the fear of God in people. And KKK was an equal opportunity discriminator. They hated blacks, they hated Jews, they hated Catholics. And they put up a lot of the statues we're seeing come down today. It's a great opportunity for sculptors, artists of all kinds today, to create public art that speaks to our values going forward, which are values that embrace the diversity of America.
You know, to me, Mark, that moment is clearly larger than life. I think it's fitting that the statue is 7 feet tall. And I also think it's fair to say that that moment has changed America forever.
I think so. It's very fair to say that. And, you know, I agree with all the major historians who look at our country and mark Jackie Robinson's ascendance to the Brooklyn Dodgers as the birth of the modern civil rights movement. And that moment where he broke through with the Montreal Royals, they ended up winning the pennant. He was promoted, and as they say, the rest is history.
You kind of mentioned it just a moment ago. Why is Jackie Robinson perhaps more important than ever in 2021?
As I started this sculpture, it was you began to hear news of the Black Lives Matter movement, but it was pre-George Floyd. And that moment, coupled with the moment of a few years before of the guys with tiki torches marching through Charleston, it presented a very public reemergence of the realization that we're still dealing with in-your-face racism, and I understood that this moment of joy, of a mutual handshake that was showing respect, understanding, equality, spoke to values that we all give lip service to and sometimes forget to remember in the moment. And I think more Americans are open to thinking about who am I, how have I been to my neighbors. It's a magical moment, and the statue reminds you that America can be better and will be better.
I think it's also fitting too because George Shuba was such a family man, and he treasured that photo. He kept it in his home for for the rest of his life. And actually I had read that his son Michael had said in an interview when speaking of his late father, many times in my life, he went to that photo and said, "This is the way you need to treat people."
That's exactly right. That's really what this is all about. If we just do unto others as we'd like them to do unto you, however that phrase goes, I mean, it's a better world automatically, and it's something that too many of us have not paid heed to. But we have the opportunity now to tweak our behavior, maybe open our eyes a little bit to what it's like to be in that other guy's pair of shoes. I know for certain that the amount of anger that's being spewed daily, that we have to find a way to tone that down. It's important to our well-being, and especially when you think of your children and grandchildren.
Well, thank you, Mark, for keeping positive messages alive through your art. We definitely appreciate the time. It's so beautiful to see that statue.
Thank you so much, Bobby.